The prayers of many have been answered, as our sweet daughter is still here for us to love. We know that our Heavenly Father knows her and that He has a plan for her. We express endless gratitude to the medical team at Primary Children's Hospital, who continue to assist Deserae in the healing process and provide support not only to her, but to our family. We continue to be hopeful for improvements in our daughter's condition. She has undergone a tough surgery and continues to fight for the ability to complete daily tasks many of us take for granted. As of today, she has been admitted to inpatient rehab services and will continue to undergo intensive therapies. We appreciate the love, support, and prayers of so many and ask that you continue to pray for her, our family, and other families impacted by this tragedy. Thank you for your continued respect of our privacy.
Good evening. We'll take, just as mentioned before by Ms. Parker, we'll take a few questions at this time.
Maybe you start with, tell me a little bit about your reaction. Well, first of all, why do you feel like he should be charged with attempted murder? This, even though he didn't allegedly pull the trigger.
Yeah. We put on evidence today that he was an accomplice, that he was integral in the planning and the carrying out of the shooting of Deserae. And the law states when you encourage, aid, or assist in any way a person committing a crime, you have the same degree of culpability, and under the law you can be charged with that same crime.
The defense attorney is saying the shooter is a murderer and a liar, and he's the one to blame, and his client had nothing to do with this whole thing.
The evidence that was put in before the court today, she found the defendant over on all of those charges, finding that there was probable cause that he is criminally liable at this time, and will be bound over to hear, those charges will be heard at a later time. Of course, I mentioned yesterday that we will now move into we will transition to a hearing in which the court will determine whether or not to bind over the defendants to district court to answer those charges as adults.
And I guess, why do you feel like they should be tried as adults, both of them?
We'll know more in the days to come, but state law provides for us to file these charges because of the seriousness of those charges, and to take them through the process that we're currently going through, which is a 702 process, where the court will first do what she did yesterday and today, determine whether or not there's probable cause to bind them over to answer those charges, and then she will go to another hearing. The 1st of May and the 2nd of May we'll have the hearing involving the minor that we had court on today. And then at that hearing, the court will determine whether or not to send them on to district court. But she's already made the findings that there is sufficient evidence to bind them over to answer for those criminal charges. That one, there were criminal conduct, and two, that the defendants the last 2 days were the ones that committed those crimes.
But why do you think that they should be tried as adults?
Yeah, this is a heinous crime. It's one that is supported by state law that says it will be charged by way of information, and then the juvenile court judge, in this case Judge Fonsbeck, will determine whether or not to keep them in the juvenile court system or to move them onto the adult system. And at this point in time, the burden turns to the defense to say, Judge, keep them in juvenile court. They have the burden of proof. The state does not have the burden of proof, and we put on our burden of proof to show probable cause. As it goes to the bind over hearing, the defense has the burden of proof to show why they should stay in juvenile court.